All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are going to do some Michael Jordan stuff because that's my GOAT. So this one is from Nonstop Sports. It's called Stats That Prove Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Shoot him a like. And yeah, I'm digging this. It's kind of short form content, but it's actually really straight to the point and informative. So I'm kind of digging this. But anyways, if you like the content from Nonstop, go check them out. I'll have the link down below in the description. And yeah, let's check this out together. Here we go.
And 5 regular seasons.
Hold up. There we go.
We all know Michael Jordan won 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, and 5 regular season MVPs. But here are some of the craziest stats and records that you don't know about Jordan. When it comes to getting buckets, nobody did it better than Jordan. And that's why many consider him the GOAT. Jordan led the NBA in scoring for a record 10 times, and with 30.1 points per game. MJ has the highest scoring average out of any player in NBA history.
Which is crazy, because we're including those 2 Wizard years. And outside of those years, what did he play? 13 seasons? Crazy.
He's also the best scorer in the playoffs, with 33.5 points per game.
Yes, sir.
Luka Doncic is second on this list, with 32.5 points per game, and the only other player averaging more than 30 in the playoffs.
Different
But if you
era.
think that's amazing, wait for some of Jordan's other stats, which are truly unbelievable. Out of 179 games in the playoffs, Jordan scored less than 20 points just 6 times.
Yeah.
And he is the only player never to score less than 15 points in a playoff game. Jordan played 37 playoff series and outscored every single teammate and opponent he ever faced, except one. It was Terry Cummings in 1985, and he scored just one more point than Michael, who was still in his rookie season.
85. Yeah, I was going to say 85. That would be his rookie season because he was drafted in 84. The playoffs there in 85. So really, he was only outscored once? Damn. And after this Braun coverage I've been putting out, showing him scoring like 0 points in a fourth quarter. How do you compare him to Jordan? How do you do that with a straight face?
In the 1960s, when the pace of the game and the number of attempted shots was the highest in NBA history, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Rick Barry averaged 40 points per game in a playoff series once. And Bernard King did it one time in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, Bernard
Jordan
King.
Is the only player.
Hey, shout out in the comments. Do you guys remember Bernard King? That dude was killer. Killer. If it wasn't for a guy like Jordan coming out and just dominating, Bernard King would be remembered differently. Kind of like I don't know who to compare him to. You know, like a Gilbert Arenas or something like that. Just an awesome offensive player. But just, we won't remember him because, you know, they didn't do much winning.
To average 40-plus points per game for an entire playoff series more than once. And better yet, he's done it 5 times.
Oh, yeah, he killed my Suns.
One of those came in the 1993 NBA Finals
great.
against the Phoenix Suns, when Jordan averaged...
What? Yeah, dude. Let's see what this number is. Because I think, if I remember correctly, he averaged like 37 a game. Something stupid.
41 points per game.
41 points per game. Oh, my God. Yeah, the guy lit up my Suns. And it was a conflict for me because that's my favorite player going against my home team, and I didn't know who the fuck to root for anymore. But yeah, Jordan, 41 points per game against my Suns. No wonder why they won.
Game, which is the highest scoring average in finals history.
Yeah.
In 1988 against the Cavaliers, his airness had back-to-back 50-point games and is the only player in history with this accomplishment in the playoffs. Jordan averaged 45.2 points per game in that series, second highest mark for any player in a single playoff series. Jerry West averaged 46.3 points in the 1965 Western Finals, but he was shooting 35 times per game. MJ has 8 50-point playoff performances, which is the most ever, as well as the most 40-point and most 30-point games in the postseason.
Goddamn.
To further put MJ's scoring superiority into context,
I mean, I know what Nonstop is going to do here, and he's going to throw so many stats that it's undeniable that Jordan's the GOAT. But straight up, he's the only guy we've ever seen that stepped it up like that in the playoffs, especially in the finals, who just dominated, straight up dominated. And, yeah, you're talking about 41 points a game in an NBA Finals, 1993. It's insane, especially with who was considered a Jordan killer back then, guarding him, Dan Marley. Great defender. He was a great defender his whole career, except for when he was guarding Jordan. He couldn't stop him. So he had a reputation as being the Jordan killer, and Jordan heard about that and absolutely destroyed Dan Marley. Thunder Dan. It's a sad thing. Quick little tidbit. You know the Spicy McChicken at McDonald's? Back in the 90s when Thunder Dan was playing for us, here in Arizona, every McDonald's location, the hot and spicy was called the Thunder Dan Deluxe. So anytime I wanted a hot and spicy McChicken, it was a Thunder Dan Deluxe. It was 2 for $1 back then, too. Son of a bitch.
LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Wilt Chamberlain have put up 50 in the playoffs a combined 7 times. Some of the best scorers in NBA history, like KD, Iverson, and Harden, don't have as many 40-point playoff games altogether as Jordan has by himself. Michael entered the league in 1984, and by 1991, he had scored 40 on every team in the NBA. By the end of 1992, he scored 50 on every team in the Eastern Conference.
Wow.
Out of 930 games he played for Chicago, Jordan led the Bulls in scoring 793 times, which is more than 85%.
Wow.
During his entire career with the Bulls, Jordan scored less than 10 points only once. And that happened when he was nursing his ankle after a long recovery.
Dude, that's not even fair because he was on a minutes restriction. Wow. What a stat, though.
Played just 16 minutes, scoring 8 points.
16
MJ
minutes,
is the oldest player to lead the NBA in scoring at the age of 35, and is the only guy who scored 40 points in a game past the age of 40. He also holds the all-time record in free throws made in one half, sinking 20 freebies in the second half against the Heat in 1992.
Wow.
One of the most fascinating stats is that Jordan is the only player in NBA history who has more 40-point games than games where he scored less than 20 points.
Okay, that's a cool stat. He has more 40-point games than games where he scored only 20 points. Talk about a consistent leader. Dude, that is the coolest stat I've seen in a while. Shit. How do I hire this guy?
He had 173 games with 40 points and only 146 under 20. For example, LeBron has played 235 games where he failed to reach 20 points and only 70 games where he scored 40 or more. Okay.
Whoa. I like that one. I like that stat. Come on, you bronzexuals. How do you feel about this stat? Oh, you want to call LeBron a pass-first guy? Yeah, he ain't leading shit when it comes to assists. So keep calling him a pass-first guy. Good luck with that. Look at this. So 235 games with less than 20 points. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. He didn't show up a lot of games. Damn, man. Yeah, looking at Jordan and at 146 and 173, it's no wonder. It's no wonder why no matter what happened, he still averaged around that 30 points per game his entire career.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. LeBron is more of a passer, not a pure scorer.
No, he's not.
Yes, but if we look at Kobe, who was
He's the leader of all time in turnovers. He's not a good pass first guy. He pretends like he is. He's not really good at it. Think about it. He leads the league in turnovers. I'm sorry, he leads the entire history of the NBA in turnovers, but he's not close to leading in assists. So call him a pass first guy. Not a very successful one.
Similar player to Michael. We'll see that he had 405 games with less than 20 and 122 games with 40 plus.
Damn. Okay, that's surprising. That's surprising from Kobe. Okay, I can imagine 82 of these games are from his first year. So we're talking about 100 and maybe 130, 140 of these are from his first 2 years where he didn't really get much playtime. But still, Jordan dominates that one. Okay, no, fair. Jordan wins that one. Easy. Sorry, Kobe.
So when it comes to getting buckets, Jordan was really in a class of his own.
Yeah.
But he isn't considered the GOAT just because of his scoring.
Nope.
Jordan is one of the best defensive guards ever, if not the best.
He was the best offensive player, the best defensive player on the floor every single night. And unless he was playing like against Hakeem Olajuwon or something like that, But pretty much every single night he was the best on both ends. And then he's also the best winner. That's why he's the GOAT. Best player, best winner equals GOAT.
On top of winning a scoring title in 1988 with 35 points per game and winning the MVP that year, he was also named a Defensive Player of the Year, something that nobody has ever done in a single season. His 131 blocks in the 1988 season are the most block shots ever recorded by a guard, and he's the only guard with multiple seasons with more than 100 rejections. He also still holds the all-time record for the most block shots ever by a guard, with 893. MJ has 6 seasons with more than 200 steals, which, you guessed it, is another NBA record. He was also the first player to record 200 steals and 100 blocked shots in a season. In 1988, in the first...
Hakeem Olajuwon's done it since then. But yeah, man, as a guard, the steals make sense. The blocks, holy shit. The only other guard I've ever seen in NBA history that would block the hell out of people and steal the hell out of people, like Jordan did, was Dwayne Wade. But that only lasted a certain amount of years. His prime didn't last nearly as long as MJ's.
First half of the game against Boston, Jordan stole the ball 8 times, which is another NBA record that still stands today.
My God, a couple more steals, he could add a triple-double with steals. Man.
Almost comical how one player stole the ball so many times in such a short time. Almost like he was playing with middle schoolers,
right?
Not NBA professionals. With 9 selections to All-Defensive First Team, Jordan is tied with Kobe, Garnett, and Gary Payton for most all-time. In 1989, when the Bulls lost their starting point guard, Coach Doug Collins made Jordan play the point.
Oh, I love this stuff. In fact, I wanna watch some of these games again. It's been a long time. Jordan as a point guard, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. But it wasn't going to lead to championships. But if you wanted to just talk about somebody like a James Harden or a Russell Westbrook or something that they got to do, which is just run the entire offense through them, Jordan was way ahead of his time. He was Oscar Robinson status. I mean, he was a walking triple-double with 30 points a game. It was insane. And yeah, now we got guys like Joker and, Luka. But it was a different time back then. To be able to pull that shit off, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, that was near impossible back then. Near impossible. Because the final score of the game would be like 89 to 95. So to put up 30 of those points while still dishing out all those assists, good luck. And then the 10 rebounds were harder too, because less shots, less possessions, less shots per possession, less odds of getting a rebound.
Between March 11th and April 23rd of 1989, Jordan averaged 30.4 points, 10.7 assists, and 9.2 rebounds per game.
There it is. So he was pretty much averaging a triple-double, but he got the majority of those games were a triple-double, 30-point triple-double.
While playing point guard, he notched 10 triple-doubles in 11
there it
games.
Is.
In the 1989 postseason, Jordan had 7 games with double-digit assists. In comparison, Kobe Bryant had only 9 double-digit assist games in his entire playoff career. If we compare him to LeBron, Jordan is typically viewed as the superior scorer, whereas James is praised for his passing and all-around game. The truth lies somewhere in between, and both were more than capable of playing like the other. When Jordan wanted to pass, he proved that he could have been a full-time point guard if he wanted to, but he preferred to score the ball. And the same is true for LeBron, who proved that he can be unstoppable when he decides not to share the rock. When it comes to advanced statistics, Jordan and LeBron are very evenly matched at the top. However, Jordan has a slight advantage in most categories. MJ is the all-time leader in player efficiency rating at 27.91, ahead of LeBron, who has a PER of 27.34. The same is true for player efficiency rating in the playoffs, where Jordan is slightly ahead of George Mikan and James. Michael is also the all-time NBA regular season and playoff leader in win shares per 48 minutes,
makes sense,
box plus minus, and usage rate, and is second to LeBron in value over replacement player. When he was a rookie,
what does that even mean? Value over replacement player?
The only player ever who managed to lead his team in 4 different categories: points, assists, rebounds, and steals. And if you're wondering what he did...
Wait, he led his team in rebounds?
...fuel his body, he always ate the same thing, approximately 4 hours before the game. Jordan's pregame meal
McDonald's
consisted of a 23-ounce New York
Oh.
steak, a side of mashed potatoes, or baked potatoes if it was not available,
Carbs?
and a salad on the side.
Okay, so carbs, protein. Don't know what the salad's for at that point. I get it. He's energizing his body.
It's served with some ginger ale. At the beginning of the 90s, Jordan first started drinking. He drank only after the games, but then soon started knocking them back before the games as well, according to former NHL star Jeremy Roenick.
I know this one. He had a shit ton of Bud Light when he was playing golf before a game and still went up and lit up the team that they were playing against because this guy bet against him, bet against the Bulls.
He and Jordan once played 36 rounds of golf, drinking a dozen beers each throughout the day. That wouldn't be a problem if Jordan didn't have a game against the Cavaliers that night. Roenick joked that he was going to put money on the Cavs that night, thinking that Mike must be drunk and exhausted from playing golf all day.
Mike ain't human, man. Mike's not human. He's something else.
Jordan then bet him that they're going to win by more than 20 points and that he's going to score over 40. Mike being Mike, Roenick gave him all the motivation he needed. Of course, he won the bet. The Bulls won by 24, and Jordan scored 44
Yeah,
points.
he took that shit personal. Don't piss off Mike, man. Like, that story's hilarious, though. Literally, I'm not advocating for getting drunk before an NBA basketball game, but it's hilarious that most people playing that much golf without the alcohol would be exhausted. He's playing that much golf plus the alcohol before a game, and he still goes in and scores 40 some odd. Insane. And of course, the most important thing is the Bulls win.
Moral of the story is, even when he was half drunk, MJ was still the best player in the world.
Oh, that's something I got to react to. How good was Wizards Michael Jordan? I've covered some of it, but I got to cover more of it. Anyways, this didn't teach me much, but there are some little tidbits in there that I didn't know about. I don't know, man. There's no amount of information that's going to make me sway at this point. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. You know, maybe Joker, maybe Luka, maybe Wemby, but there's nobody currently in the who's been dominating in the league for the last 10 years that can even compete. So no one is going to dethrone Mike anytime soon. It's going to take quite a bit of time, but maybe one of those guys can do it. We'll see what happens. Anyways, go check out No Stop if you enjoyed the content from them, and if you enjoyed my reaction, please shoot me a like, a subscribe, and comment down below who the hell is your GOAT. And did you learn anything off this video? Anyways, let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.